Hello, Covington County. Welcome to our May 23rd edition of Good News Covington County with Brother John, Cousin Jared, Cousin Tom, and our guest Daniel. The first segment of the local news and information is brought to you courtesy of J.R. Richburg and the team at J.R.'s Lawnmower in Opp, Alabama. Cousin Jared and I were out for a short visit with Joe Richburg last week, and we were both impressed by the quality of J.R.'s people and the quality of the lines that Joe and his team carry. There's everything from Generac and Honda and Kawasaki engines and power products to Cushman and E-Z-Go golf carts. They've also got the best selection of big green egg grills, cookers, and merchandise that I've seen anywhere. If you need mowing and grounds maintenance equipment, from the zero radius mowers like the Grasshopper or the Husqvarna, or weed trimmers from Steel, chainsaws or blowers from the folks at JR's are just what you need. They've got what you need to make your outdoor work a pleasure, and they've got the parts and the people to fix the equipment you buy from them or their competitors. Located at 1006 West Cummings Avenue in Opp, Alabama, JR's has what you need. Go by and see them or call them at 334-493-9645. They'll treat you right. Now let me tell you something, folks. We're going to move right on from JR's to the news, but you should have been on the square here in Andalusia last night. I mean, there was a big deal made and some big deals going on. Andalusia High School's Alabama High Schoolers Athletic Association 4A state baseball champions, recognized with a parade that started at the Baptist Church and came all the way up to the Covington County Courthouse. And then there was a ceremony in front of the courthouse. They'd set up a stage. They had the cheerleaders there. The Andalusia band was behind them. I'd say probably 1,800, 2,000 people were there. Mayor Johnson was there. City Clerk John Thompson was there. And so was Dr. Daniel Shakespeare, and I tell you what, that guy's done such a good job leading that high school. So proud of him. I know that our superintendent, Ted Watson, was as proud as he could be. He looked like a possum eating persimmons. He was as happy as he could be. Anyway, Dr. Daniel Shakespeare did the best job I've ever seen of anybody introducing anybody. It was the greatest introduction ever. It was about 14 words long. And you just got to admire that. He was glad to get it done. Mayor of Andalusia, Earl Johnson, who read and presented the proclamation, recognized these 12 young men on the Andalusia High School baseball team, and their coaches as state champions did a fine job. Cousin Jared and I were able to get to the square and tape the entire presentation ceremony, along with some interviews from the crowd, the dignitaries, coaches, and others. Stay tuned during the day for that as we get it rendered and brought to you. Now, our next story is something that just breaks my heart. It occurred over the weekend, and it's a story written by Michelle Gerlach about a 4-year-old who died Friday. Sheriff Dennis Meeks on Tuesday identified the 4-year-old who died Friday and said his department is still awaiting the results of an autopsy. Meeks said the Department of Forensic Services has completed the autopsy and mailed its report to the department. He expects to receive the report today or tomorrow. He said the child died Friday, and initial reports indicated that her death was heat-related. Meeks identified the child as Layla Dees. On Monday, Andalusia Superintendent Ted Watson said that the child was a student in the system's pre-K classes at Bright Beginnings Kindergarten this past year. Folks, that just breaks my heart. Don't know why, can't figure it out. Just can't. County Board of Education, and another story by Michelle Gerlach, the County Board of Education begins hiring for next year. The Covington County Board of Education on Tuesday made a number of personnel decisions. State law requires that decisions to non-renew contracts or to transfer employees be made before the last day of school. The board hired Matthew Thomas Cannett as a bus mechanic. They also hired Tammy Easton as a bookkeeper at Fleeters High School. Carmen L. Powell as a pre-K auxiliary teacher at Fleeter Junior High School. Chelsea Powell Farley as a secondary mathematics teacher at Pleasant Home School. Tammy Lynn Martin as a bus driver at Red Level High School. Jennifer Diane Silcox as a special ed teacher at Strawn Elementary School. Kevin Earl Dyer as a custodian at Strawn Middle School. Edward D. Stewart as a bus driver at Strawn High School. Sonia Henderson Wallace as a special education teacher at Strawn High School. And I know her, she's just as happy to be that back there as she can be. Mary Dial Ward as a middle school science teacher at Fleeta Junior High School. Sharon Bulger as a special education teacher at Florella High School. The board accepted the resignations of Sandy Dwayne McVeigh Jr. as a bus mechanic effective May 4th. April Thrower was a special education teacher at Florella High School. They accepted her resignation. The resignation of Melody Gay Burleson as a lunchroom manager at Florella High School. Eric D. Anderson as a lunchroom worker at Red Level High School. Melissa Reeves Allday as an elementary teacher at Red Level Elementary School. And Corey Dakota Baker as the band director at Florella High School. The board also made the following transfers. Rhonda D. Parker from lunchroom worker at W.S. Harlan Elementary to lunchroom worker at Florella High School. The board non-renewed the contracts of Darlene Michelle Watson, who's an elementary teacher at W.S. Harlan School. Todd Allen Lancaster as a general science teacher at Strawn High School. And that's our news for the first segment. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Good News Covington County, our Wednesday, May 23rd edition. This segment of our local information is brought to you by Andalusia Tire Company, located at 850 Western Bypass in Andalusia. They've got what you need in the way of tires. If you got a flat on anything from your bicycle to that Terragator spreading fertilizer, your best choice for the stuff to get your stuff rolling in a hurry is Andalusia Tire Company. Call Jimbo, Todd, or Greg Caton at 334-222-3136 for your tire, brake, and chassis needs. Andalusia Tire can get you tires from about anyone that you would want them from. They'll do the work right the first time, but remember this, they don't carry blinker fluid. Now, in other international news, one of my childhood heroes died. Cheyenne Bodie, dead at age 91. Clint Walker, who played the title character in the early TV Western Cheyenne, has died. Walker's daughter, Valerie Walker, tells Associated Press that her father died Monday of congestive heart failure at a hospital in Grass Valley, California at 91. The towering, strapping Walker played Cheyenne Bodie, who traveled the West and handed down justice on a TV series that ran for 7 seasons starting in 1955, most of it in black and white. Walker was an Illinois native who worked as a Las Vegas sheriff's deputy and part-time bouncer at the Sands Hotel when he made the leap to Hollywood. In addition to Cheyenne, he had small but visible roles in classic films including the 1956 The Ten Commandments, 1967's The Dirty Dozen, and he most recently lent his voice to 1998's Small Soldier. At 6'6", he was a big man. In other news, Ulysses is still expected to occupy the twin hangars at the Andalusia Regional Airport. This story by Lacey Stinson. South Alabama Regional Airport will continue to wait for Ulysses' commitment to the twin hangars, the executive director said in a meeting Tuesday. Ulysses paid $30,000 to hold the building for 3 months, so they have until June 9th, Jed Blackwell said. If everything goes according to schedule, they intend to go on with the lease. Ulysses could be there by October 1st. If ULISA exercises the option to lease, it will pay $30,000 per month for the facility. ULISA Chief Engineer Rick Tolliver told board members last month that ULISA has bid on a task work in a contract awarded to Lockheed Martin. If the company wins that bid, he expects ULISA to have 17 to 22 people working at South Alabama Regional Airport. ULISA is a subsidiary of Calista, an Alaska Native Regional Corporation created under the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act of 1971. The for-profit corporation has 17,300 shareholders, primarily of Eskimo Yupik descent. The company works with defense, aerospace, civilian agencies, and homeland security. The company's headquarters are in Huntsville, Alabama. If ULISA doesn't make a move to go on with the leasing, the hangars, leasing the hangars, Blackwell said, there's no reason to worry. There's another company that's out of Crestview that has interest in the hangars. If ULISA doesn't open or go on with the lease on the options, I feel the company out of Crestview will release it. Now here's an interesting thing, again regarding the airport. The story again by Lacey Stinson. I just love this headline. Runway algae creating issues at airport. The blood, slime. Lacey Stinson's article says the South Alabama Regional Airport has several maintenance issues that were brought to the attention of board members in their Tuesday meeting. Our previous airport improvements program had led us to getting LED lighting by 2020, Jed Blackwell said. Because the lighting system is 23 years old, it's very outdated. The LED lighting should save us money in the long run, Blackwell said, and said that most airports have LED lighting because it provides a better visibility, and it is a lot cheaper to run. There's a real need for a new REIL light for the west side of the airport, but there are needs to take precedence over the LED lighting after a state inspection. We had some inoperable lights, a wind direction indicator that was holding water, and also we've had algae growing on our runway markings, Blackwell said. They try to fix the wind indicator, and that got to be kind of problematic. And then the algae thing kind of took off. They've attempted to get the algae off of their markers. Now you just got the runways have got numbers on them. Those are markers, and the algae's growing over it. The algae covers the entire marker, making it just a black speck if you're looking at it from the air. And that's a big problem. They've tried pressure washing and spraying to remove the algae buildup. They want us to push back the runway lighting to a 2020 date because we can make it into another year and a half with what we've got currently, Blackwell said. The heliport needs improvement as well, but the main concern of Federal Aviation Administration will fund the maintenance of the helipad. The improvements originally scheduled to occur in 2022. If a complete seal coat and revitalization of that area, again the helipads, but the problem is, are they going to get the FAA to fund something like that? Blackwell said they did fund it in 1989 and 90, and Donald Barton, the SARA vice chairman, said that it was a well-needed improvement for that area. It's crumbling and chunks are flying everywhere, said Barton. I can imagine they hit one of those helicopter rotors with one of those chunks, how well that'll go. This is actually a part of the old runway, the 1943 runway, but it's blowing stuff up when the helicopters are out there. Blackwell said they would consider privately funding the heliport's maintenance. Other items discussed in the meeting were a new airport gazebo and the purchase of a new self-service fuel pump. Well, that's about it for this section. We're going to take a break and be back shortly. Our next news is mostly from OP, and it's brought to you by Bauer Auto Parts, courtesy of Bauer Auto Parts, located at 304 East Cumming Avenue in Opp, Alabama. If you need auto parts, check out the best four-letter word in auto parts at Napa at Bauer Auto Parts. Call Jamie or Jackie or any of the crew at 334-493-4017 for all your auto parts, heavy duty, and hydraulic system needs. Right now they've got mobile oil on sale and a great price on Chicago pneumatic air tubes. Don't miss out on the great deals they have. That's Bauer Auto Parts in Opp. Here's an article, and it's one of the sweetest articles I've ever read, and it's by Lacey Stimson, and it's about the valedictorian and salutatorian at Opp High School. Opp High School's top 2 students earned the grades to be honor graduates, and it's never been a competition. Even when the valedictorian moved here in the 3rd grade, they never considered it to be that way, the salutatorian joked. It's never been a competition for it. We've been encouraging each other. Cody Davis, Opp's valedictorian, said they become the best of friends. We've always wanted to see each other do well, Davis said, and it's always been pushing each other to do well. And the 2 of them have done well, after all, both earning scholarships. Bess earned a scholarship to the University of Alabama for engineering, while Davis earned scholarships to Auburn University for pre-veterinary medicine. Bess chose to study engineering because of her love of math. She said, I really love math. I think because of that, I will really enjoy engineering. Davis was inspired to do pre-veterinary medicine because of his mother. My mother is Dr. Cheryl Raleigh, and she's a vet here in Opp. It's always something I've grown up around, and I have a real passion for animals. When asked if they were surprised by their class rankings, there were 2 very different answers. Don't want to say it, but I wasn't surprised. But this was something I've worked for and wanted since I was in kindergarten, said Davis. Honestly, I was surprised, said Bess. I feel like everyone works to be the top student, but I didn't expect to be salutatorian. She says she has to credit their success to 2 great teachers and time management skills. Her favorite teacher is Miss Denise Pierce, Beth said, and she's just someone that you have to look up to. Pierce has taught her for 2 of the last 3 years. And really, it's just her attitude and the way she teaches that I like so much. I have so much respect for her, Beth said. For those that are incoming freshmen, they both have a lot to say. Be active in your school, join clubs, do sports, prepare for your ACT. Don't be the person that goes home right after school, Beth said. Put in the effort and work and be self-disciplined. Paying attention helps a lot, no kidding, Davis said. Doing your homework and doing assignments can go a long way with your grades, Beth said. Anything that you're commended to do it. That's pretty good words for life. As for what they'll miss about high school, the list isn't too long. I think I'll miss the structure of high school, Davis said. I'll miss Miss Pierce, my friends, and the partnership that I shared with Cody, Beth said. Beth is the daughter of 2 teachers and has 2 sisters who enjoy spending time with her grandparents, mostly playing cards and watching Netflix. Davis lives with his mother and father and twin brother. He enjoys reading, running, and skiing. Next story, again about Opp Education. Opp has renewed the Board of Education renewed the contracts of 2 principals and took other personnel action. This again in a story by Lacey Stimson. Opp renewed the contract of Sean Short, principal of the Opp High School, for 3 years. They also renewed the contract of Aaron Sperlin, principal of Opp Middle School, for 3 years, and they accepted the resignation of Denise Pierce, a math teacher at Opp High School. They contracted with Demetrio Tyson for summer maintenance, so they're going to have a lot of busy things laid out. Well, that's our 3rd segment of the show today. We'll stop for a minute and be back shortly. Folks, we're back. more good news, Covington County. Have you tried the food at the Happy Kitchen? It's located in the Westgate Plaza over on Martin Luther King. If you hadn't, you're missing a real treat. I eat there regularly, and as you can tell by looking at my stomach, the food's pretty good, and the portions are generous. Open 6 days a week, the Happy Kitchen is a local place for everything in the way of Asian food, from Mongolian beef to beef and broccoli. If you're there and you can't dine, just call them. They'll fix you a carry-up order, and they'll be glad to do it for you. Call the Happy Kitchen at 334-222-1398. By the time you get there, in most cases, it's ready. A little bit of news from the Covington County Board of Education as they recognize a group of athletes. The Covington County Board of Education on Tuesday recognized a number of students for their athletic accomplishments, including the following. Chance Bedsoe, Florida High School, 8th grade place in 1A boys 300-meter hurdles. River Baldwin, Pleasant Home, 1st place, 1A girls shot put, 2nd place, 1A girls discus. And she's a pretty doggone good basketball player too. Ross Wilson, Pleasant Home, 3rd place in the 1A 400-meter dash. Peyton Huckabee, Pleasant Home, 7th place in the 1A girls javelin. Matthew O'Rourke, Pleasant Home, 10th place in the 1A 800-meter run. Caleb Pylan, Pleasant Home, 7th place in the 1A boys javelin. Nathaniel Irwin, Ross Wilson, Caleb Pylan, Matthew O'Rourke, and Coach Troy Turman are the 2nd place team in the boys 1A 800-meter relay. Joel Phillips of Red Level finished in 2nd place in the 1A 110-meter hurdles, 5th place in the 1A 300-meter hurdles. And Ramsey Marr from Red Level placed 9th place in the 1A jump. Madison Shepard of Red Level placed 9th place in the 1A 1600-meter run. And Blair Hanks of Red Level placed 10th place in the 1A 110-meter hurdles. Joel Phillips, Blair Hanks, Cameron Whitaker, and Brody Ingram placed 6th in the boys 1A 400-meter relay. Will Foshee, Braden Hall, Saban Elmore, Dylan Browder, and Andy Etheridge, and Coach Tommy Ingram placed 8th place in the boys 1A 800-meter relay finish. Now for a little bit of more sports news from Andalusia. We've been so proud of our Andalusia baseball teams and our basketball teams, but I mentioned it just in passing yesterday. Our soccer teams have made a good job this year. In a story by Josh Dutton in the Andalusia Star News, they recount to us that the Andalusia High School soccer team had another strong year before falling to Montgomery Catholic in the 3rd round of the Class 4A 5A state tournament. I was really proud of the way the team competed this year. That's what head coach Jarrett Williamson said. After making it to the Final Four last year and then not getting any recognition in the ratings this year, this team played with a chip on their shoulder. Williamson said that the first of the year they started slow, but the Bulldogs quickly picked up the pace. At first, it looked like a little bit like things were going to get going, and then it would stop. We had a lot of new faces that we knew we would be able to contribute, but it took a while to figure out where and what those pieces of the puzzle were going. The turning point came in the season when in a tournament hosted by Montgomery Catholic. Williams said the team just really started clicking at that point. Williams said the children really bonded that day and battled their hearts out for each other. Not long after that, at the tournament, Williams said the Bulldogs got a chance and moved into a groove all their own. We knew this was coming this season, and our region was going to be very competitive, Williams said. We won all of our region games, but we weren't scoring like we could. Right after spring break, we got our legs back under us and started rolling. and then scored 9 and 7 goals in our next 3 games. In the first round of the playoffs, the Bulldogs knocked off number 9 ranked Faith Academy. The children again had a chip on their shoulder, Williamson said, and they were ranked number 9, and we weren't even ranked. We beat them 9-0 and felt like we had the game in hand pretty early. Williamson said that he is proud of his team. I can't say enough about this team, Williamson said. I'm very proud of them. I look forward to the kids that come back next year, and we'll miss the 8 seniors that graduated. Now that's about all we can get into this session. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Good News Covington County. Our final news, weather, buzzer report, fishing tables, and public information are brought to you by Anthony King and all the outfitters and guides at Fletcher's Outdoors in Andalusia. If you need expert advice on what's biting at the local lakes, ask the folks at Fletcher's. They'll not only tell you what's biting out there, they'll also tell you what's being caught on what. For all your hunting and fishing needs, even the coolers and ice, check with Fletcher's, located at the corner of Martin Luther King and the Brooklyn Highway. Oh yeah, and if you're hungry, Fletcher's has a breakfast buffet that is worth waking up for. Today's outdoor adventures start with the daily Soliner table. Fishing tables come to us courtesy of the folks at Bassmasters. Today should be a pretty good day for fishing, according to our tables. The best daylight fishing times today will be from 7:15 this morning to about 10:15 a.m. Tonight's best fishing will occur from nearly at 7:47 p.m. to about 10:17 p.m. Tomorrow's best fishing time should be from 8:12 in the morning until about 10:42 in the morning, with fishing picking back up around 8:43 on tomorrow night and until about 10:55 that same evening. Now our buzzard report comes to you from high atop the observation platform on top of the Covington County Courthouse, where our crack meteorologist, Arthritis McDaniels, says there are 12 of Covington County's famous birds of prey located on the courthouse this morning. I gotta believe him. I didn't get up there and go, but Arthritis said it's so. Now, weather for today and tomorrow. Cloudy with a heavy chance of rain. Local high near 88. Lows about 62. Chance of rain today about 50%. Both days with our best rain chance occurring in the afternoon or early evenings. We're still watching that tropical depression down in the central Gulf of Mexico. It's trying to figure out what it wants to be when it grows up. But it looks like it's got about a 50% chance of becoming a small tropical disturbance. But they're not sure. None of the maps right now can tell you where it seems like it's going to go. With Memorial Day coming up, we'd like to remind you that the city of Andalusia that the offices will be closed on Monday and in observation of the Memorial Day holiday. That means there will be no garbage pickup on Monday the 28th. The city sanitation crews are going to get up early on Tuesday morning and run their Monday and Tuesday routes on the same day. Well, that's about it for us today, folks. We've got a busy day planned for ourselves, and we hope you have one too. In fact, we hope you have a great day. Remember a couple of things. Be kind to one another and shop local. See you tomorrow.